get my 6. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the most popular homesteading channel on the entire internet that has absolutely nothing to do with homesteading. Homesteading off the grid. We're back for another ghostly tale here on a beautiful October evening, which is quickly becoming an October night. We are going to read this time one of the stories from the latest publication of, or the latest volume of True Hauntings, real stories of, it's a long title, people who have seen ghosts and stuff, Bigfoots and stuff. If you have a story, you can submit it to the channel. The email address is crazylake@mail.com. Now, I'm going to ask that you get my 6. Had some strange goings on around here lately. What is that? That's odd. It's like a black square in the middle of the woods. See it? I'm not making it up. It's right there. What is that? Huh. Can't see it with my naked eye, but we're clearly catching it on camera. Which brings us to this evening's tale. Has to do with such things. And tonight's story is one that has been submitted to us from a viewer in West by God, Virginia, Nina Petrie. Nina, I remember you bought some stuff from our Etsy store, and so I know where you live. I'm not going to say here on camera and tell the world, but I will tell you is that I graduated from Fairmont State College back before it was Fairmont State College University. So familiar with that part. I can be so dumb sometimes. Well, I know you don't live in Fairmont, but at least whatever. Okay, so Nina submits lots of stories to us. She's a wonderful writer. You can tell that she writes a lot because she's good at it. It's like I heard something scurrying back there. But Nina's story this evening kind of deals with seeing things in cameras or on pictures you can't see with the naked eye. So let's get to it. So she says, this occurred twice in 2021 during the end of June and beginning of July. A warning was given both times, a heads up, so to speak. But first I have to go back. Is that cardinal? Yep, there's a pair of them. There's a couple. Hey there, that's the male. I'm sitting underneath what's that one kind of tree called? Dogwood. A dogwood that these two birds, they nest there every spring for like the last 3 years. And they keep coming back. And they stay here for the winter. They're screaming for me. I guess it's gotten cold. They want their food. I feed the birds in the winter, but not the rest of the year because they can get food themselves the rest of the year. I do not want to create a welfare state for birds here on my property by feeding them when they can actively get out there and scurge for food themselves. All right. So prior to these events, I need to tell you about what I thought was going on the second and the third time I heard the alarm. At 3 a.m., the true witching hour, the first time I heard the unconventional warning, a very loud, shrill sound that awakened me from a deep sleep. I hurried from bed and looked around the house at first, turning on no lights, and I noticed nothing out of place. I turned off the alarm. 5 minutes later, the alarm went off again, just as shrill and maybe even louder than the first time. I looked around again. This time turning on lights as I went from the end of the house toward an outside door. Just about to turn the light on in the kitchen at that end of the hall, I observed a light running a circle motion on the kitchen ceiling. The light coming from outside the house through the half-moon window at the top of the door. Someone doing a 180, a four-wheeler turning and hastening away. The person was likely scared off hearing the shrill alarm, and the fact that I had turned on all the inside lights as I had gone from room to room the second time I was checking things out inside the house. I didn't see the four-wheeler, just heard it and saw the light running across the kitchen ceiling. The next morning in daylight, I checked the back of the house. The steel door was intact. The top deadbolt had some kind of black goo in the keyhole. The lock still in lock mode, but the aluminum trim around the door on the left side as you face the house near the lock side of the door had some mild dents and scratches where someone had made contact with it, leaning on it or scratching it with tools. The locks, both deadbolts, were still intact. Someone had tried to break into the house but was foiled in the attempt. I also found a piece of a broken tail lamp cover, all red with partial sharp edges lying in the green grass next to the bush, whomever had sideswiped in their haste to get away. Scary experience, but not woo-woo, too much physical evidence found to tell the story. Now to the woo-woo part of the story. The second time I was awakened, again at 3 a.m. by the shrill alarm, I rolled out of bed, angry. I believed the prowler was back and I'd had enough. I went to the back door, leaving the lights off in the room, this time with my camera in hand. I smacked my palm against the back door hard, being as loud as I could, and yelled out, "Not again, I've had it." I flipped on the outside light, and through the closed and locked window next to the door, I snapped picture after picture, aiming toward the door just to the left of the window. I hoped to capture an image of the creep. This is the same thing that happened just days later, which was the third occurrence of the shrill alarm, again at 3 a.m. I did the whole light and camera thing all over again with the same result. It's almost too quiet in here, and that's creepy. I bring walnuts from our walnut trees up here, and there's usually squirrels running around all over the place. There's nothing out here right now. At least I hope. When I checked the images on my digital camera, I couldn't understand what I was seeing. I still don't know, but ponder it a lot. I want to know who or what, but I don't know that I ever will. The digital image, see the attached picture, and she did send me a picture, though not super clear, having been taken through the window glass and screen using my camera flash to let whoever know I was taking photos in an attempt to scare them, still shows up. Keep in mind the back door light is at least 8 feet off the ground, and the image I saw was only slightly below that. What the image shows is a man's face and shoulders, wild long hair, mustache, and woolly beard, ZZ Top kind, wearing a metallic, almost visor-like head ring across the forehead, like a hippie headband made of metal. All around, very Viking-like. Off the man's right shoulder, the head of a wolf or coyote, its face next to his own, almost 8 feet off the ground as well, like it was his own head when he wanted it to be. Also, though it is hard to see, there seemed to be eye shine down lower to the ground surrounding him. More wolves or coyotes? A shapeshifter? I don't know. Very woo-woo. Earlier, in the days after the attempted break-in, I had contemplated requesting coyotes, which literally come out of the woods behind the house into the backyard at times, real live animals, to serve as a barrier to prowlers, but then thought better of it. Had that thought action by me brought these beings to my back door? And if so, and they were benevolent, then why the shrill alarm? Upon daylight inspection, both times there was no new physical evidence of anything having occurred outside the house. Be careful of what intentions you put out into the universe. For safety, angels and bright white light are best. The end. So, I'll tell you what stands out to me in that story, Nina, is not so much, and I did see the image that you sent. I had no idea of how to put it in the book, so that's why it wasn't there. But why was your alarm going off at 3 a.m.? There's definite footsteps back here. So keep getting my 6. Why would the alarm go off? If you didn't, that's some supernatural type stuff right there. That's crazy. But I believe every word of it. Absolutely do. It's just, some things just don't make sense. If you've had any experiences like this that don't make any sense to you, consider submitting them to our channel here to be told to our viewers and put in an upcoming issue of True Hauntings. There's something like very close to me. You hear that? But there's nothing here. Look at this. That was the tripod hitting the ground. But it's like there's something walking right here around me, but I see nothing. The email address is crazylake@mail.com. See you next time for more.